Alright, buckle up for an exciting space adventure. Let's imagine something really big and amazing happening in our solar system. We're going to talk about what might happen if a supernova explosion destroyed everything around us in space. Are you ready to explore this wild idea? First, let's talk about what a supernova is. Imagine the biggest firework you've ever seen, but make it a gazillion times bigger. That's kind of what a supernova is like. It's when a huge star, much bigger than our sun, reaches the end of its life and explodes with an enormous boom. Now, normally these supernovas happen very far away from us, in distant parts of the universe. But what if one happened really close to our solar system? That's what we're going to imagine today. Let's start with our sun. Our sun is like the big boss of our solar system. It's a giant ball of super hot gas that gives us light and heat. All the planets, including Earth, go around the sun like a cosmic merry-go-round. But if a supernova explosion happened nearby, it would be so bright that it would make our sun look like a tiny flashlight next to a huge spotlight. The first thing we'd notice is a super bright light in the sky. It would be so bright that even during the day, it might look like there were two suns in the sky. At night, it would be like having a second moon, but way, way brighter. You wouldn't need any lights to see outside, it would be as bright as daytime all the time. But this bright light wouldn't just be pretty to look at. It would also be very dangerous. The supernova would send out lots of different kinds of energy and tiny particles that could harm living things on Earth. It's like if you stayed out in the sun too long and got a really bad sunburn, but much worse. The supernova would also send out huge waves of energy called shockwaves. These are like the ripples you see when you throw a rock in a pond, but much bigger and faster. These shock waves would travel through space, and when they reached our solar system, they would start pushing everything around. Imagine if you were playing with toy boats in a bathtub, and suddenly a giant wave came and knocked all the boats over. That's kind of what would happen to the planets in our solar system. The shock waves from the supernova would be so strong that they could push planets out of their normal orbits. Our Earth might get pushed farther away from the sun, which would make it much colder here. Or it might get pushed closer to the sun, which would make it much hotter. Either way, it would be very bad for all the plants, animals, and people living on Earth. But it's not just Earth that would be in trouble. All the other planets would be affected too. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and all their moons would be tossed around like cosmic ping-pong balls. Some might crash into each other, creating even more explosions and destruction. The supernova would also send out a lot of dust and gas. This might sound harmless, like the dust you see floating in a sunbeam, but this cosmic dust would be different. It would be so thick that it could block out the light from our sun, making Earth very dark and cold. Think about how plants grow, they need sunlight, right? Well, if this dust blocked out the sun, plants all over the world would start to die. And if the plants die, the animals that eat the plants would start to die too. It would be like a big domino effect, with each part of nature affecting the next. Now, let's talk about something really cool but also kind of scary. The supernova would create something called a neutron star. This is what's left over after a big star explodes. A neutron star is super tiny, maybe only about 12 miles across, but it's incredibly heavy and dense. If you could scoop up just a teaspoonful of a neutron star, it would weigh as much as all the mountains on Earth combined. This neutron star would have a super strong magnetic field. It would be like having the world's strongest magnet right next to our solar system. This magnetic field could mess up all our electronics on Earth. Your TV, phone, computer, they might all stop working. But the destruction wouldn't stop there. Remember those tiny particles we talked about earlier? Well, some of them are called cosmic rays, and they're super energetic. They would zip through space, and when they hit Earth's atmosphere, they would create a beautiful light show called aurora. It would be like having the northern lights visible all over the world. However, these cosmic rays would also be dangerous. They could damage our ozone layer, which protects us from the sun's harmful rays. Without the ozone layer, life on Earth's surface would be in big trouble. Now, you might be wondering, could we do anything to stop this from happening? Well, the truth is, if a supernova happened this close to us, there wouldn't be much we could do. It would be like trying to stop a tsunami with a bucket. The forces involved are just too big. But don't worry too much. The chances of a supernova happening close enough to Earth to cause this kind of destruction are very, very small. It's kind of like winning the lottery, but in reverse, the odds are so tiny that it's not something we need to lose sleep over. In fact, astronomers, those are the scientists who study space, keep a close eye on all the stars near us. They know which ones might go supernova one day, and none of them are close enough to cause us any harm. The nearest star that could go supernova is about 150 light-years away, which is very far in space terms. Let's talk about some of the cool things we could learn if we could watch a supernova up close, but from a safe distance, of course. Supernovas are like cosmic factories. They create many of the elements that make up our world. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, and the gold and jewelry were all created in the hearts of dying stars. Watching a supernova destroy our solar system would be like watching the ultimate recycling process. All the stuff that makes up our planets, including Earth, would be scattered back into space. It would be the end of our solar system, but the beginning of something new. Over millions and millions of years, this scattered material might come together again to form new stars, new planets, and maybe even new forms of life. It's a bit like how a forest can regrow after a big fire. Out of destruction comes new life and new possibilities. Even though it would be the end of our home, it would be an incredible scientific opportunity. We would learn so much about how the universe works, how stars live and die, and how the elements that make up everything around us are created and spread through space. In a way, this idea of a supernova destroying our solar system reminds us of how amazing and powerful the universe is. It shows us that even something as big as our solar system is just a tiny part of the cosmos. It's a bit like realizing that your house, which seems so big to you, is actually just a tiny dot when seen from an airplane. This kind of thinking can make us feel small, but it can also make us feel special. Out of all the vast space and time in the universe, here we are, living on this beautiful planet, able to think about and understand these incredible cosmic events. So, even though the idea of a supernova destroying our solar system might sound scary, it's also a reminder of how wonderful it is to be alive right now, on this planet, able to learn about and appreciate the wonders of the universe. And who knows? Maybe one day, humans will be able to travel to other star systems. If we can do that, then even if our home solar system was destroyed, humanity could continue to explore and live among the stars. It's an exciting thought, isn't it? So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember that you're looking at a vast, dynamic universe full of incredible events like supernovas. And even though these cosmic explosions are powerful enough to destroy entire solar systems, they're also the reason we exist in the first place. How cool is that?